Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to the channel and welcome to OAP FC, Old Age Players FC. As always, thanks for joining me. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, go and check out my other content. I've just started a brand new rebuild with Sheffield Wednesday, so yeah, go check that out. But yeah, thank you for seeing what this is all about. So what is it about? Well, I'm not dissing old players. In fact, I'm the same age as the oldest player in this squad. Although I don't feel old, I feel 25. Although my back hurts a lot. I do have to get up in the middle of the night for a wee these days, which isn't great. I've got kids, I'm married, I've got a mortgage. Bloody hell. No, I am old. I am old. But if you know me, if you're new to the channel, you won't. But if you know me, you'll know a lot of the squads I build in all my series, I always aim for younger teams, young, hungry players. I seem to have more success. I very rarely sign older players unless it's like massively necessary. And whenever you're on Football Manager, it's always about wonder kids. Who's the best wonder kid? Who's this player? Who's that player? So I thought, what about the oldies? There's still a lot of absolute quality old players. So why not make a team, stick all the old players in? Maybe I've missed one that you like, so I'm sorry if I have. But players I know who are still kicking about, put them in a team, stick them in the Premier League, give them an old manager, and just see how well they can do. Because we always write them off. I do. As a bunch of old guys with tons of experience and not much fitness, can they actually do well in the Prem? We're going to find out in this video, so hopefully you enjoy it. If you enjoy it loads and loads of people watch it, I might even do a second one, but we'll see about that. For now, we're going to check out the first season of OAP FC. So here we go. This is Old Age Players FC, because old guys get a bit grey. They've got a grey home kit, got a white away kit. I've made a little simple logo, a little symbol for an old person with the walking stick. We play at the retirement home and I based it in London, 50,000 capacity, nice synthetic soft pitch to help with the joints, you know what I mean. Good amount of season ticket holders. Obviously this club isn't new, so you know there's no history here, no rivalries or anything, and the nickname is the Granddads. I mean, I'm calling these guys old, and I'm old, like I said, I'm older than all of them, but the oldest who I'm the same age as. So yeah, it's a bit of fun. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it. Smash that thumbs up if you do. We'll see what happens. I was quite excited to see what they could do. So this is a squad. Now, if you're wondering why they're all English, this shouldn't be, and I don't know if this is an editor error. Some people are saying there's still some faults with the editor, the pre-game editor. I basically didn't want any hassle with work permits, just in case. So I gave everybody a second nationality as English, but it's made them all English. They still got the records internationally for their original countries. Most of them have retired anyway from international football. I think they've all retired. I made sure of that. I don't want them playing international football. But yeah, that's just an editor error, not mine. So this is the squad. Starting with the oldest man in the team, Mr. Buffon. Same age as me. He's older than me, actually. I'll take that. Still a great goalkeeper. He's got this man to compete with who, you know, is probably gonna get the nod. Obviously I'm not in charge of this team, I'm not taking them over, we're just simulating it. That should be fun. That's to pick this lad, Chiellini. I know him, 36 years old. Wow, still good though, isn't he? He just won the Euros. Gerard Piqué, I've picked him. Now my original thoughts were 35 and over. A couple of 34-year-olds have sneaked in because they've got to become 35 eventually, just to flesh out the squad. Ivanovic, I mean, when he was at Chelsea, he's played for Zenit and West Brom. When he was at Chelsea, I think you can pick him up on a free actually at the start of the game. I thought he was brilliant. Great player. I'd have loved him at Man United. I had to pick Sergio Ramos. He's 35, still absolutely amazing. Although in real life, he still hasn't played for PSG, and his rumours, they're like thinking of binning him off. He's class. Never say his name when he was at Arsenal, so I'm not even going to attempt it, but we all know who he is. He was a good player, to be fair. Been out in France. Now he's back at OAP FC. Thiago Silva, legend. I think he had a bit of a shaky start at Chelsea, but is he doing quite well now? 36 years old and still a brilliant player. Jesus Navas. Jesus. Yeah, good little wing back. I think he used to be more of an attacking player. Has he gone more defensive? A bit like Valencia as he's got older. Dani Alves, who I think you can pick up on a free unless the game update comes out. Because he's just signed, Danny, for going back to Barcelona. 38. And I read somewhere he's only on a Euro a week or something silly just because to help the club financially. So yeah, fair play. Fernandinho, City player, but you know, even at his age, still elite. An elite midfielder. Great player. Filipe Luis, ex-Chelsea, ex-Atletico Madrid. Been out in Brazil. 35 and again, still good. I mean, some of these guys, I've got it in the locker still, man. Not too sure about this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, he won the Serie A at Inter last year. Did all right for us at United. But yeah, you know, I was looking for older players to help, left back, right back, and yeah, I knew him, so I picked him. Another ex-City man who's gone to Roma, played at Inter, 35-year-old, it still looks like he can put a shift in. The Prince himself still looks like a good player, 34 years old, although he's not really been playing for huge teams. Besiktas are pretty decent. Been at Monza. Still looks like a good player though. Veteran attacking midfielder. When you talk about old players, especially a handy player for this team who can help out absolutely everywhere, I'm surprised he can't play in goal. It's James Milner. One of the big time players for this team. Someone who could maybe help him win something. We'll have to wait and see. Because he's still world class. Still world class. Joaquin. Legend of Football Manager. Still playing. 39. And apparently he's doing really well in real life, so fair play to him. Cesc Fabregas was class back in the day, wasn't he? Did all right at Chelsea, did fantastic at Arsenal, he's still at Monaco. So he's coming in. Andreas D'Alessandro. 40 years old, right? He is one of my favourite old school players from old school Football Manager. He used to be, he was a legend on all the games, for me anyway. David Silva, another ex-City player, and you know, one of them City players, as a United fan, you used to watch and think, wow, I actually went on holiday and visited the little village without realising it was the little village he's from, and the Canary Islands, I think it is. So yeah, and he had like posters of him everywhere, so yeah, great player. Nani, I had to, wanted help on the wings. I knew him because on the, was it my Brentford series where Wolves signed him and he was playing in the Premier League, so I picked him. Dimitri Payet, he's a beast at West Ham, wasn't he? At Marseille. Can't believe it's been that long since he was at West Ham. I had to go for this one for reasons, you'll see why at the end. Messi. I mean, he's getting a bit older, but he's still possibly one of the two best players in the world. Not what he once was at 38. I think he's playing for Salernitana now, which is a team I quite like from an old school journeyman of mine. Yeah, but in his day, how good was he? I had to pick Zlatan. Who don't pick Zlatan? Back in the Sweden team in real life. Loved him at Manchester United. Still doing really well in Serie A for AC Milan. Can he do this well for OAP FC? Another old school legend of Football Manager who still has tons of ability and still has really good physicals, I think, for a 38-year-old. Fabio. Can't say your second name, yo. Yeah, another ex-City. A lot of them are still knocking about. He was there for 5 years at City. Good player still, isn't he? Then I went for Luis Suarez. Why not? Because he's class. I want this team to just be stacked with old guys at the end of the careers who've got quality. And I think they've got tons of quality. But can that quality be brought together and beat these younger, more exciting Premier League teams? Now, if you're wondering why Cristiano Ronaldo isn't at OAP FC, it is mainly because I'm a Manchester United fan and he's just come home, so I didn't want to take him away from Manchester United. I wanted to leave him exactly where he is at home, so that's the reason why. So there are tons of old managers that are knocking about in this game that are still very, very good, but I've picked Claudio Ranieri because he's crazy. I quite like the idea of it, and he's won the Premier League, so he's got that experience of the Premier. He's, you know, been about the block a lot. So can the 69-year-old put this team of personalities and quality and history and trophies, imagine how many trophies are in that squad, into a team? Can he put them into a team and win something or just do well? But when it comes to the bookies odds, I give the club rep a rep of around Spurs, Arsenal, Leicester. But of course, even though they've got a really old team, they're a good team, so the computer algorithms put them at 5th. So it'd be interesting to see if they can better that. They've got players in the Dream 11, Modric, Messi and Ramos, of course. So that's pretty good. But what I've done is I put them under a transfer ban. So they can sell players, but they can't sign any players. I didn't want the club bringing in younger stars and just doing what Football Manager does. So they can't add anything at all. Now, just in case this does well and I do a second episode, there are players out there who are currently like 34 who are very good still, who haven't made the cut just now, who have got future transfers in place, because they will become 35, maybe even 36, just in case I do a second season to refresh the squad and go again. Now, of course, they play at the retirement home in London, 50,000 all-seater. Now, to go in line with this club and its philosophy, they do have top corporate facilities, state-of-the-art training facilities to keep the boys going, they need it, but they've got poor youth facilities, basic academy coaching, limited youth coaching. This club is not focused or care at all about youth players, and the computer didn't even give me any because of that, and that's quite cool. Now, I genuinely couldn't be bothered putting in loads of staff because it takes forever. I thought, let the computer do that itself. Now, I did find one of the oldest billionaires in the world. He's 100 years old. He's an American, right? He's worth billions, and I made him as a character. But I'm guessing because he's too old, the computer said, nah, and put in a generic one, a chairperson. Have you noticed that this year? No chairman, you've got chairperson. You also don't have man management, you have person management. Have you noticed? The world's gone mad with PC. But anyway, I have put in Alex Ferguson as a director of football, and I give him Dick Advocat because he's dead old as an assistant. That's it. It's up to them to sort themselves out. So we're going to run through a season, simulate it, see what happens. I might jump in at certain key moments to share stuff with you. I'm going to be kicking off the campaign against the mighty rich Newcastle. Ooh, see how that goes. But I'm intrigued. I mean, I'm expecting him to do pretty good because he's still got lots of quality, but they're just all at the wrong end of the career. Is that going to affect him? What do you think? Let me know in the comments before you watch anymore. So we've now jumped forward to the 1st of January, and OAP FC find themselves in 6, won 9, drawn 7, lost 4. Zlatan's 3rd on the goal scoring charts. Messi's the best player in the league. But there's been some change. After their last game, they sacked Claudio Ranieri. The pressure was on him and they're not happy with what he's achieved so far. So the 70-year-old is out the door. And I absolutely love this. Didn't think this would happen, but it's a beautiful thing in an experiment when random stuff does happen. Until they find a new manager, they've put Alex Ferguson, director of football, in temporary charge. 80-year-old Fergie. He's still got it in his locker, hasn't he? I love it. So this is why they sacked him. I mean, they're not... 6 is pretty respectable. They want, the bookies thought it would be 5th. But, they've not been great. And towards the end there, up until the Newcastle game, which was his final game, they've been off the boil a bit there, haven't they? Only winning 1 in 7, which is, a bit disappointing, but it's what it is. In the Carabao Cup, they got all the way to the quarters. They knocked Wimbledon out, beating them 2-0. And then they beat Norwich 2-1. Beat Hull 3-0. And then they got beat off Chelsea on penalties though. Close. A quick look at how the squad's doing. Arranged by average rating. You can see the boys there. Buffon is the backup. Messi's got 9-21. Premier League though, mate. It's the Prem. Zlatan is the man. I like it. They have actually put up a load of players for sale, to be fair. So there's guys who they're not liking. Nani, Ivanovic, Kolarov, Fabio, Alessandro and Kevin Prince Boateng. None of them got registered in the squad, unfortunately, but it's what it is. You can't predict these things, so yeah, we'll see what happens. So I've now jumped forward a little bit more because they brought in the new manager 11 days ago. They brought in Conte. Now he's not old. You can't set him to just sign old managers. I set it to sign experienced managers, and obviously the game at the point of me starting hadn't been updated. I don't know if it has yet either. So Conte was at Spurs, he was out of work. So fair play, they brought in a top manager. So Ranieri won 12, drew 7 and lost 5 and got the sack. Lasted 180 days. Fergie has now become director of football again, but in his little interimship he played 4 and won 4. Give him the job. Give Fergie a job. I'd have loved that. That'd have been quality, wouldn't it? But they haven't. Conte's come in. Well, if we jump forward to the 13th of May, you'll see they currently find themselves in 4th with 1 game left to play. So there's still mathematics they could drop out of that because Chelsea have got a game in hand. If they win both of them, they'll be on 66. If OAP FC lose, of course Chelsea will go above them. Arsenal could maybe go above them, but it's more like I'd say Chelsea and OAP FC because of the goal difference. Now, if we jump forward a little bit more to the 23rd of May, you'll see they did it. They finished 4th. They've got themselves into the Champions League, which I'm buzzing with, really. That's quite cool. On 65 points, even though they lost the last game, getting battered off West Ham 3-0. Chelsea drew, so obviously Chelsea didn't do enough with their 2 games in hand, and they've done it. Got themselves in Champions League, which you kind of would expect with a lot of quality they've got. But I love that. Zlatan, joint top goal scorer. Chris Wood's up there as well. Insane. Messi's 2nd best player in the league. Was that it? Well, after beating Blackpool, Norwich and Salford in the earlier rounds of the FA Cup, they came up against Newcastle in the quarterfinals and got themselves through, beating them 3-1. They then beat Arsenal 2-1 in the semi-final, getting themselves into the final. But did they win it? Well, I watched it. I attended the game. I watched a couple just when I was bored. My wife watching telly. No, let's watch the key moments from the cup final, and they play Manchester City. I love that kit of theirs, OAP FCs, by the way. I went for black socks, make it a bit different. But I will be honest, they did get pounded. They got absolutely pounded by Man City. I mean, I was in attendance, attended the game, sat in a box with Alex Ferguson, my best mate. Love a bit of Fergie. But it just felt like the City show. It was just City after City after City after City. And I've said this before in the past, when I've been like a Brentford in my series and you go up against a top team and you get pounded and they just can't score. That doesn't mean City won't score, but they just can't score, can't for save. And you nick a goal or you nick two. Anything can happen in football. It's a beautiful game, isn't it? So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Can the old boys pick themselves up a trophy? But again, City highlight. It was just all Man City. Look at how City didn't score 4 or 5. I will never ever know. Possibly because of the experience of the OAP FC. So right on the death, City had one last attack. Could they steal it? No, look at Navas, ex-City player, not giving up. They must all be absolutely knackered. And after extra time, which was just still a Man City freaking bombardment, it went to penalties. So they both scored the first one. Bernardo got his saved. This was like game on. I mean, I'm no involvement in it. I'm not the manager, but it was quite exciting to sit and watch. Very rarely do I attend a game, but yeah, it was fun. There's Modric. Boom. This is where the experience shines through. These guys are legend. Can Jack Grealish do it? Fair play. Gerard Piqué. I was a bit worried when I saw him step up. Shouldn't be, because they freaking won it on penalties. On penalties. I mean, that's the Man City team. And there's the OAP FC team. I mean, look at that. Look at Milner there. That's the kind of player I wanted. Can help out anywhere. They might be old. Might have a combined age of about 487 million years old. But, you know, top 4 in an FA Cup win. Look at that, though. Look at that. Look at that. Who cares, though? Because they won it. And this young club full of absolute oldies has got themselves a proper trophy. Should we do another one? You have to let me know in the comments. If you smash that thumbs up and I get decent views on it and you all get involved in the comments, I might do the second season because players are going to be leaving. There's some more legends coming in. Can Conte take them in the Champions League and do something? Can they kick on even though they're all even older? I don't know. I'm excited to see. Here's one last look at the squad. Feel free to pause it just so you can see who the best players were, who the guys who performed are. Abramovich, man, brilliant. He had a great season, didn't he? Obviously, Messi turned it on eventually. So, you know, you got players like that, you should still do well. But I generally didn't know how it would turn out because they're all so old. So I'd love to know what you think. Are you one of them people like me who normally just goes for younger players? Or do you like a good old legend? And would you like to manage a team of absolute oldies like this and see what you could do? So there you go, that is the end of OAP FC, potentially the end of it completely. We'll see about doing another one. You'll have to let me know in the comments, but hopefully you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different, isn't it? A little bit random, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting it together, enjoyed seeing how it played out, and I enjoyed sitting there in that cup final watching City absolutely batter him and then watching them win, which is always a joy. So yeah, thank you honestly for taking the time to check it out. It's always appreciated, as is any thumbs up, comments, and any patrons. Patrons are legends. If you want to become one, you'll find a link to that down below. And if you're bored and you haven't already, go and check out either my Bologna rebuild, my Brentford beta, which was a lot of fun, or even my brand new rebuild with Sheffield Wednesday. As always, thanks for joining me. Stay happy, stay safe and booed. Bye bye.